Good morning. It's time for our daily lectionary reading for Monday, August 9th. It's actually a little earlier than usual. So most of you probably will not be watching this live. That's okay. What do we have today? We're Psalm 57. We're starting a new psalm. 2 Samuel 15, 13 to 31. And then Ephesians 5, 1 to 14. So Psalm 57 has the heading to the leader, "Do Not Destroy," of David, a miktam when he fled from Saul in the cave. So this is while he was on the run from King Saul. This is when he supposedly wrote this. "Be merciful to me, O God, be merciful to me. For in you my soul takes refuge. In the shadow of your wings I will take refuge until the destroying storms pass by. I cry to God Most High, to God who fulfills his purpose for me. He will send from heaven and save me. He will put to shame those who trample on me. God will send forth his steadfast love and his faithfulness. I lie down among lions that greedily devour human prey. Their teeth are spears and arrows, their tongues sharp swords. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be over all the earth. They set a net for my steps. My soul was bowed down. They dug a pit in my path, but they have fallen into it themselves. My heart is steadfast, O God, my heart is steadfast. I will sing and make melody. Awake, my soul, awake, O harp and lyre. I will awake the dawn. I will give thanks to you, O Lord, among the peoples. I will sing praises to you among the nations. For your steadfast love is as high as the heavens. Your faithfulness extends to the clouds. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be over all the earth." So even in times of despair, David was singing praises to God. All right, 2 Samuel 15, 13 to 31. Remember, when we left our daily readings, Absalom had won the hearts of Israel by setting himself to a point where he could basically intercept people who were coming to petition the king and saying, the king can't help you, but I will. So he kind of had, at this point, pretty much a peaceful coup. So a messenger came to David saying, "The hearts of the Israelites have gone after Absalom." And then David said to all his officials who were with him at Jerusalem, "Get up, let us flee, or there will be no escape for us from Absalom. Hurry, or he will soon overtake us and bring disaster upon us and attack the city with the edge of the sword." The king's officials said to the king, "Your servants are ready to do whatever our lord the king desires." So the king left, followed by all his household, except 10 concubines who he left behind to look after the house. That's going to be important later, guys. The king left, followed by all the people, and they stopped at the last house. All his officials passed him by, and all the Cherethites, and all the Pelethites, and all the 600 Gittites who had followed him from Gath passed on before the king. And then the king said to Ittai the Gittite, "Why are you also coming with us? Go back and stay with the king, for you are a foreigner and also an exile from your home. You came only yesterday, and shall I today make you wander about with us while I go wherever I can? Go back and take your kinsfolk with you, and may the Lord show steadfast love and faithfulness to you." But Ittai answered the king, "As the Lord lives, as my lord the king lives, wherever my lord the king may be, whether for death or for life, there also your servant will be." And David said to Ittai, "Go then, march on." So Ittai the Gittite marched on, and with all his men and all the little ones who were with him. The whole country wept aloud as all the people passed by. The king crossed the Wadi Gidron, and all the people moved on towards the wilderness. Abiathar came up, and Zadok also, with all the Levites, carrying the ark of the covenant of God. And they set down the ark of God until all the people had passed out of the city. And then the king said to Zadok, "Carry the ark of God back into the city." If I find favor in the eyes of the Lord, he will bring me back and let me see both it and the place where it stays. But if he says, I take no pleasure in you, here I am, let him do to me what seems good to him. The king also said to the priest Zadok, look, go back to the city in peace, you and Abiathar, with your 2 sons, Ahimaaz, your son, and Jonathan, son of Abiathar. See, I will wait at the fords of the wilderness until word comes from you to inform me. So Zadok and Abiathar carried the ark of God back to Jerusalem, and they remained there. But David went up the ascent of the Mount of Olives, weeping as he went, with his head covered and walking barefoot. And all the people who were with him covered their heads and went up, weeping as they went. David was told that Ahithophel was among the conspirators with Absalom. And David said, O Lord, I pray you turn the counsel of Ahithophel into foolishness. So David is fleeing before Absalom. And it talks about the Gittites, the people from Gath. When David was on the run from Saul, he went to Gath and spent time there, and these men had followed him. It says you just came back. Yes, you came only yesterday? They don't mean literally yesterday. It means he's an immigrant to Israel. He is not from that area. Now, David has been king a long time. He's been with David a long time. The Wadi Kidron, the Kidron Valley, is what separates the Temple Mount from the Mount of Olives. That's the valley. So when they left, that's where they went. They crossed that valley, that wadi, and were heading up the Mount of Olives. If you remember, Mount of Olives figures very prominently in the Gospels, particularly in the Passion Week. Jesus spent a lot of times in the Mount of Olives. What else do I want to say? Oh, Ahithophel, here at the end. Hopefully that name rings a bell. Ahithophel had been one of David's counselors, one of his most trusted advisors, who is now with Absalom, working against David. Why the change? Why would he, one of David's most trusted advisors, throw in with the usurper? Well, Ahithophel had a son named Eliam. Remember Eliam? Eliam had a daughter named Bathsheba. And David, and well, you know the story of David and Bathsheba. We've talked about it. David raped Bathsheba and had her husband killed. So Eliam and Bathsheba's grandfather, Ahithophel, kind of have an axe to grind. Now, they've waited patiently for the opportunity. It has been years at this point since David and the incident with David and Bathsheba. But Ahithophel was apparently biding his time until the opportunity arose. And we'll hear more. These next few days, they skip good chunks of this story. So hopefully you will read on your own the intervening events, the intervening passages. And I will try to keep you up to date on what we're skipping. All right, let's go to Ephesians 5:1-14. Therefore, be imitators of God as beloved children, and live in love as Christ loved us, and gave himself up for us, a fragrant offering and sacrifice to God. But fornication and impurity of any kind or greed must not even be mentioned among you, as is proper among saints. Entirely out of place is obscene, silly, and vulgar talk, but instead let there be thanksgiving. Be sure of this, that no fornicator or impure person or one who is greedy, that is, an idolater, has any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and of God. Let no one deceive you with empty words, for because of these things the wrath of God comes on those who are disobedient. Therefore do not be associated with them. For once you were darkness, but now in the Lord you are light. Live as children of light. For the fruit of the light is found in all that is good and right and true. Try to find out what is pleasing to the Lord. Take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. For it is shameful even to mention what such people do secretly, but everything exposed by the light becomes visible. And for everything that becomes visible is light. Therefore it says, sleeper, awake, rise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you. All right, that's our lectionary readings for Monday, August 9th. It's very Monday today. So have a good Monday. I'll see you tomorrow.